right? I love the way how Prashant sir pictured the whole presentation around AI. It feels like a pushpa. It's not a flower, it's a fire. you know. So I dressed up pretty accordingly. So I looked like pushpa today. With little beard, I didn't get time to trim the beard, so apologize for that. So myself, Varun, and I'm presenting Quantum Technology System. We'll talk a little more about, I will show the flower side of the AI. You may have a lot of fire side of the AI for throughout the day. So let me cover the flower side of it. Oh, I always start my presentation with this slide. This is like my wife. Every morning I have to see her, so by choice or not. And the growth is like my kids, they're growing every year. But I have to change this slide every year like my girlfriend, because it's changing so rapidly that the chart, whatever I showed last year, doesn't apply this year. And I'm sure when I'm going to present next year, it's going to be a new one. So let me give you a little bit overview over the data centers. There are 8,000 data centers operating globally as of today. That's a massive number. There are about 55,000 AI companies. Can you imagine 55,000 AI companies across the globe, and Quantum Technology System is one of them too. So data center market cap is last year 650 billion. And if you look at projected by 2030, it's going to cross 1.5 trillion. AI industry market cap, as of 2024, 3 trillion. If we look at 2030, it's going to cross almost 10 trillion. Do you know what is the Indian GDP right now, as of 2025? Do we serve coffee here in the room? It's almost 4.2 trillion. So you can imagine just the AI industry going to be crossing 10 trillion in the next, just giving a perspective, it's almost 2.5 times the GDP of India. We are talking about the AI, the data centers. We are talking about how they should look like in the future. It's very important that as India is accelerating in the data AI space, it's very important how we look at the data centers, how we build the data centers. High density GPU racks are coming. Like a lot of companies are already thinking about 1 megawatt racks. So it means you need immersive cooling, direct to chip cooling. But when I talk to many industry leaders in India, they are still stuck on the 20 megawatt, 50 megawatt, 100 megawatt air cooled racks. You need to start thinking about already that Rubin and many other GPUs are coming in the future, how you want to build your infrastructure for tomorrow, not for yesterday. So quantum technology is bringing several companies which are pioneers in the direct-to-chip cooling and immersive cooling to India. High-speed interconnects. As we see, the data center landscape right now, the very thick focus is on Navi Mumbai, Hyderabad, those areas. But as India is looking towards more and more sovereign data centers, they need to think the entire geography, not just from the disaster recovery perspective, but the overall how they want to run their AI workloads for different governments, state governments, and the central government. Definitely you need AI managed monitoring system. Modular designs are very, very critical so that you can have rapid scaling in the future, repairs, sustainability, all the aspects that Sandeep sir also covered. Growth accelerators, these are very important ones. What are the accelerators? Like I'm seeing a lot of government officials out here as well. Like strong policy support is very, very critical. Massive investments are coming from tech giants like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Oracle, and many other companies, right? Funny part is when a little bit of tangent, I like to go tangent. When I was working at Google, next to me used to sit Vint Cerf, who is the father of internet. Pretty old guy, 82-year-old guy, and I was not even half his age. I used to bug him like any grandson, asking him different questions about internet, about the curiosity that I had. And we spent a lot of time in Google cafes talking about the internet, what's going to happen, how are we going to run these AI workloads so effectively and efficiently. The thing is that we have to start thinking the entire ecosystem, not just by the state or by the data center. We need to think about the entire ecosystem. And that's what's going to differentiate Indian market if we want to penetrate deeper into the AI. Challenges, as we globally, we are running into the grid power limitations, supply chain delays, and that is where I had to leave Google to really focus on these areas to start the quantum technology system. So how we address these challenges. Rising ESG requirements, like in the last presentation Sandeep sir gave almost a doctorate program slides on ESG. So I'm going to ask for the request for the slides so that I can also refresh, what are all things happening in this. Because these can become a big, big detractor for the AI growth. Land and water resource constraints and talent shortages. So when I say talent shortages, I already see, I'm an investor also in many of the companies which are building autonomous robotics to take care of the data centers. You don't need the people, you need the robots who can be trained to repair the data centers. So that is another massive thing that is happening right now in the US market particularly, where we are seeing significant investments happening into the robotics to take care of the data centers, to do the repairs. So I think that is another big, big opportunity for Indian market to invest in those companies. Asia Pacific and China focus, we always talk about that. China has been accelerating big time into the AI space, building AI cities, and big, big focus on the national sovereignty. Singapore already going towards the green certified new centers. For India particularly, that excited me, and 3 months ago we decided that we're going to launch our business in India because we see all our customers like Meta, Microsoft, and many other companies, they are expanding into India. And by choice or not a choice, we had to also join them in this expansion. India, let's take a snapshot. Please correct me wrong if these numbers are not correct, because I had to read a lot of Indian published to see if it is correct. It may be on and off, but I'm sure after this presentation, none of you gonna remember all these numbers. So doesn't hurt. So almost in 2024, 870 megawatt has been the IT load in the Indian market, and it is expected to grow over 1.7 gigawatt by 2027. I think it's pretty much in line with the slide that Sandeep sir showed. Already 1.24 billion has been allocated, and I'm sure other companies are also investing significantly. Alone in India, 4,500 AI startups. That's massive. Or no? What do you guys think? How many companies, AI companies are there that I mentioned in the previous slide? 55,000. And Indian, how many are there? What percentage of it is, sorry, my math is, I'm like a 8.5%. I love India because they are human calculators, and that's why I think India was slow in adopting to the AI, because everyone is walking with all this, great minds here. Policies, I love that Indian government is taking several initiatives, India AI mission, Digital India, PLI schemes, and new AI-centric SEZs. A lot of focus is happening on tier 2 and tier 3 cities, which is amazing. I think all the state governments and central government need to come together to create more and better ecosystem for the AI. India's, if you look at India's global share is less than 3%. But India is sitting on global's 20% data. What it shows that the Indian market is massive. It's underpenetrated. So 3% global penetration right now, but we are sitting on 20% of the data. Does it mind boggle everyone's, or this is like something that only excites me? Guys, please serve coffee. I feel like this room is. All right, major hubs, we did talk about Mumbai, Hyderabad, Chennai, NCR, but again, many states need to take these initiatives, collaborate with the hyperscalers and invest in the AI and think about the ecosystem. And if I want this room to take away one key term is how we build the ecosystem for India, not for the state, not for the city. Then again, it reminds me of the movie Chak De India. मुझे ना तो city का नाम सुनाई देता है, ना state का, मुझे India का नाम सुनाई देता है, right? So that's where I watch a lot of Indian movies. So that's why, my analogies are related to Indian movies a lot. All right, sustainability. I will not go into this one because Dr. Sandeep already covered it in detail. So very critical that we keep all this into consideration when we are building this ecosystem. All right. Future data center architecture. I think let's take 30 seconds. I have a 2.5 minutes, so I'm going to talk about this edge computing facilities. As we know, like how the Indian users are distributed and number of devices each Indian is carrying these days is amazing. So edge computing facility is going to be very critical. Containerize modular builds so that we can accelerate the deployments of these solutions. AI-driven self-healing operations is very critical. As you see that cybercrime and many things are happening on every second basis, it's very critical that we build the AI self-healing operations. And ultra-low latency for future workloads is the key. You cannot build all the data centers in Navi Mumbai or in Hyderabad. You have to build the entire architecture thinking that how we can keep the ultra-low latency and still run the load effectively and still don't run into the same constraints as many other markets from power and space perspective. So thinking about that ecosystem from today is very critical. We are very excited to come to the Indian market and looking forward to work with you all and see how we can accelerate, how we can simplify this whole AI infrastructure and win in this market and take that India to the new AI heights. So thank you so much.